Hello, everyone. My name is Mark from the Misplay Podcast, and you're listening to Eternal Journey, everyone's favorite Eternal podcast.
Welcome to Eternal Journey, the podcast.
Greetings, all my knights and punta ones out there. You are listening to Eternal Journey, the podcast that talks about all things eternal with a focus on limited play. I'm your host, Jedi. That's right, punter extraordinaire. And you guys are tuning in to episode 112 of the podcast, where we are going to be doing a draft. Revelations draft. They obviously flipped the script on us, and now we are drafting the draft packs for packs 1 and 4, and the Revelations packs have moved to packs 2 and 3. But first, before we dive into that, I want to welcome my friend, my co-host, a good buddy of mine, friends, and probably the most popular guy on the podcast, Johnholio, or Johnholio, according to BK. What's up, John?
Hey, draft hype. No, and you're definitely the popular one, Jedi. That's that's you for sure.
Everyone knows who John is. People just know me because I stream, and half the time I'm the only one in the directory. So by default, people have to know me.
Default hype.
Default. So let's go ahead and start off real quick. We normally do kind of a, I guess, a first impressions or initial impressions, or kind of a breakdown of a draft format, right, when it comes up. But you were actually a guest / cover host on Farming Eternal, which is another limited podcast, which I'm sure all of you that are listening to this one know about. And you did a fantastic job with Jed the Homrid breaking it down. So shout out to you for doing that. That was absolutely amazing. And yeah, and then you guys could check that out. Like I know sometimes when we're kind of, because I'll be honest with you, I'm normally backlogged on podcasts, so I don't get to Farming Eternal right away. And I also just kind of let us pick our topics randomly. Sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. So, but you know, since we're not on a weekly schedule at the moment, I figured I'd rather kind of get new and fresh content out there for you guys. So we're going to be doing a full draft today is what we're going to be doing. I'll be honest, right up front, I was hoping to be able to play the games and then come back and report on that in this podcast. But we finished the draft I had queued up before we fired this up, and 3-4 minute queues is it's not exactly conducive to a good sleep schedule, sadly, huh, John?
Yeah, it's getting late already, so we'll have to report back on the next show how the draft went.
Yeah, fair enough if it's on absolute train wreck. Real quick, a little bit of housekeeping. First off, I want to say that you can catch me live every Saturday and Sunday at twitch.tv/Jedi_EJ. Sometimes, I don't know, it's my afternoon, but depending on where you're at in the world, it may be your morning or your evening. So just tune into that. And of course, you can catch videos on YouTube, which is just Eternal Journey, where you can catch the video version of this one, which for those of you that normally listen to me in the car or listen to us to do stuff, you know, in the background or whatnot, this is definitely one that I recommend checking out on the YouTube, just because I will be showing everything on the screen. So, you know, we'll be calling out cards as we go that are in contention, so we're not kind of reading off the entire pack every single time, because that's a little bit of time consuming. But once again, if you're a more visual person, you can check this out on YouTube. So there's that. And then, of course, some shout outs. Been a little bit. So some great people are supporting the channel. Really appreciate the love. Sandy Fur, Kismet Bestet, Risper Visper, Sizzle Steam, Wolvie LG, Avion, and Scarlet Hearted. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. I really do appreciate it. You guys are absolutely amazing. Wolvie made 9 months this last stream, which was super cool. We got to do the promotion ceremony, which is awesome. And I feel like there's still people that are catching that for the first time. And man, it's really good. Like I feel like people actually appreciate that, just the little bit of you know, I guess it's my best attempt at showing, like, returning the appreciation, right? And it's been really well received. So thank you again, John, for that busted idea, man.
Yeah, I think we still owe IP Longno one of those as well. He was mentioning that to me the other day.
Oh man, you're totally right. That's right, because he went to sleep by the time. Yeah, because so like I try to make it a big deal. So normally if it pops up, like some people sub like as soon as my stream goes up, you know, like, oh shoot, my sub's due. So, but if I have a chance of having, 60, 80 people be there for the ceremony versus 10, then I kind of do that, so I try to space it out. And IP being on the other side of the world, usually he'll be there for the first hour and then, go to bed or whatever. So I think that's what happened. I even asked, I think the next stream or the next week, I remembered, I was like, IP, are you there so we could do it? And he wasn't. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, I know you've tried, but yeah, like you said, it's hard to line up with his time zone.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll get it going for sure. And then IP being our team captain, if you guys don't know, IP Team Kill Long No is team captain for Eternal Journey. Oh yeah, shoot, that's perfect. We're in the shout out section anyways. We're gonna talk about the opens. So, oh man, John, we wrote down the winners, but we didn't write down the people from our team. We had 5 people from Eternal Journey make day 2 on the throne open, right?
It was something like that, like maybe 4, maybe 5. Yeah, it was so long ago now. I can't remember exactly who all made it.
Yeah, we had planned on making an episode after the open because John had a very deep run, and I'll let you talk about it a little bit. I know it's vague memory, but people like to hear that a little bit. So, but yeah, we had. Shoot, man, I feel bad now because I don't want to say names because they may be wrong or just not call out everyone. Do you remember at all who made?
I just can't. I'd have to.
Yeah, no worries. Fair enough. Fair enough. But the team.
Congrats to those that did.
Yeah, the team's been absolutely delightful. Like, we're popping off. We have a ton of great deck builders. I think we still have to kind of like get a little bit better at narrowing it down, right? There's definitely been days or the night before we have like 5 decks in contention. So it's a little rough, but I mean, like I said, we got guys that are brewing. It's great. People throw up lists, people tweak them right away. It's an absolute delight, but they're doing great. Did we finalize if we won or lost last fantasy round?
We did not win the expedition one, but I think we did the throne one.
Yeah, I think we won the throne one pretty early, but yeah, okay, so we did lose the expedition, so we're
just in
5 and so we're 4 and 3.
Yeah, I think 4 and 3 now. We're still in contention to make like the playoffs for that, but we're kind of getting close to the cutoff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, once again, what's shooting us in the foot, and I don't know how much this is happening to other teams or not, but we're like 50-50 on the people that are on the active team versus the bench that makes it, right? We've had a couple times where we've had someone on the bench go deep.
Yeah, that was me on the throne open. I was not on the roster for that one.
Oh man, that's so weird because I guess because you're not sure if you're gonna play on the opens, I guess, because I'm like, you're one of our more proficient players, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like I did not get to play expedition this weekend, so that's why I wasn't on the roster again.
Fair enough. So real quick, I don't even know. Do you know if the team listens to this podcast? Because they're mostly constructed players, so I have no idea actually.
I think a few of them might on occasion.
Fair enough. Well, shout out to the team. You guys are absolutely amazing. I don't know, we have a pretty big team. I think we talked about that on a previous podcast. So you guys are great. I'm having an absolute delight. Obviously, I don't manage the team because I've got content to do and whatnot. But shout out to Iron Man for winning the Throne Open with Slow/Silscar. And then Law Warrior for taking down the Expedition Open this weekend with Praxis Ramp. I was kind of in and out because I was doing some certification studying and exams and assessments and whatnot, but I saw some really great games. So, and I gotta admit, man, it's BK and P Sully are fantastic, dude. I enjoy them.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to watch those tournaments. I do remember who made it to day 2 from our team for the expedition this last weekend, and one of Alexandros Gray was one of them. It was his first time making a day 2, so big congrats to him. And then Alex Fierro also made it. Yep.
That's awesome. I didn't know it was his first day 2. That is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I guess shout out to Old Rich for joining the team, our newest member, a solid player. I don't know if they listen to the podcast or not. I think they do. I think they're one of the ones that appreciate that we're family friendly because they normally listen to it with their daughter around, I think. I could be wrong, but welcome to the team. Happy to have you, friend. I think most of the community knows him. I feel like he's pretty active in all the Discords. So real quick, I get, you know what? Let's take our time. It doesn't matter. Tell us a little bit about your deep run into the expedition or the Throne Open. You made top 8 or top 4?
Yeah, I was top 8. Yeah, so
Top 8, yes.
I actually got a cash prize or whatever. It's like the first time I've won money playing a video game since like Quake 2.
Oh wow,
Back when I
nice.
was like a semi-pro Quake player or whatever.
Yeah. I haven't cashed on Eternal yet, so there you go. You got me beat.
Yeah, it feels great. So I've officially made more playing the game than I put into it. And like, yeah, I think I was the only one on the team that played Kira, and it was my version. I did a ton of testing of the deck, and I was really pleased with how it performed. And it was definitely different than like there was I think two other Kira decks in the top 8, and like each one was different. And yeah, mine was leaning heavily into the market win con of Ruffian, and playing, 4 Valises were one of the best cards in the deck for me over the
Mhm.
weekend. And yeah, I mean, it was just a typical Kira deck otherwise, just trying to apply pressure early. It's good, it's good into aggro. It's good into basically most decks, just sometimes you maybe don't draw the cards in the right order, or they have the perfect answers and you don't get enough units because it's not a ton of units in that deck.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a blast to play. Had some really good games. Like I think I played one of the toughest games of Eternal I've ever played. I think versus the Overmaster on day 2. I was such a tight game. So uh, had a great time, and made it further than I ever could have anticipated. Like, I was just like I said, I wasn't on the team roster. I wasn't sure if I was even gonna get to play, and I picked a different deck than I was planning from the night before the next day,
Mhm.
and we had like I think 4 or 5 really solid team decks in contention. I think the majority of our guys were on like an aggressive Stone Scar deck. Um,
Yeah, that's what I ended up taking as well. And I was one shy. I did my run Friday instead of my usual Saturday, and I lost the tiebreakers.
Yeah, you were right there. That's right. Um, yeah, it
I
was.
mean, of course, the argument there is just win more, right?
Well, I guess. I mean, that's not always something that's possible, though. Depending on how your games go, it's
I don't
not.
know.
It's not like you had a bunch of big punts or anything, did you? Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I've obviously slept since then, but I don't think I hated my run.
yeah. So I mean, you
Um,
could have just gotten there on better tiebreakers, which is like a function. A lot of as we've kind of discussed in prior episodes, it's like when you play it matters for tiebreakers a lot, and
yeah.
you because of your schedule had to play quite early, so you ended up having mediocre breakers, right? So
I mean, I still don't know about that because Johnholio can always win more. Like you're just like, all right, let me just tighten up and lock out these last games, and boom, there you go. So
yeah, I didn't have a buy for that one either.
yeah, look at you, you champion. Plus, the funny thing too is like we were testing the night before, and you were just like, all right, well, I guess I'm just gonna lose my round 1 matchup, and you end up just smashing all the way to top 8, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think I played 2 of those slow scar decks in a row. I think I can't remember exactly. Maybe I
Yeah.
played one the first round and one a few rounds later. But it was like not quite a 50-50 in that matchup, but it's close. It was like
Mhm.
maybe a 45-55 kind of thing in their favor. And
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely got lucky. Like you have to get lucky, I think.
Oh yeah, I am 100% a firm believer that to take down a tournament there has to be luck involved. There's just so much randomness that can happen in these card games, right? I
Hmm.
mean, a case in point, the draft that we just finished, I had 5 Ursa Squadrons, and I think I literally only played one on turn 2, what, less than 50% of the time, maybe? Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
it
Yeah,
was
something
only
like
when you were on the draw, I think.
yeah, like literally, I had what 5 versus squadrons and then like 2 other 2 drops, and I missed 2 drops left and right. Like it just happens. So I don't get me wrong. You have to have a good deck and you have to play well. Like I'm not taking skill away from the players that win and stuff like that, but there has to be a little bit of luck involved because of just the randomness. People
For
can
sure.
top deck the answer. It's like okay, they have one answer in their deck. Oh, what do you know? They top decked it, and that just like so. Um, or how many times, especially when like Windvoke or the times where the transforms were in the meta, right? like that's led to some, oh really, like of all the cards they could have picked. So
There was
I
a
think
little
stuff
bit
like
of
that.
this weekend. Like some people were playing transform decks in the Expedition Open.
Yeah,
I saw
because
some
of
wild rolls
yeah,
on those.
which is kind of interesting. Like I totally understand that because of the fact that Quinn, right?
Mhm.
Like she gets you a card and breaks a lot of stealth cards. So you're, and then the 3/4 body isn't spectacular, but at the same time, I kind of felt like it was. I don't know.
The reason Quinn's such a good target is because it's already at 5, and like having an Aegis means it's hard for them to disrupt your transformation as well. Like so you don't get 2-for-1.
Yeah, good point. Good point. That's right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. With that second top 16, actually, I'm one of the people that's now qualified for that last chance qualifier too. I don't know how that
Oh, that's
happened,
awesome.
but I'm looking forward to
That
that.
Oh, that's so great, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
and is it Alex Fierro or Alex Gray that is also qualified now for it?
Fiero.
Fierro?
I
Okay,
think
cool. Oh, that's right,
IP
because
is
Alex Gray
also
is it's for.
IP is qualified for that as well. I think.
Oh, sweet, nice,
And like something like 20
nice.
other players that I can
Yeah.
remember. Maybe a little more by now. I didn't check after this weekend.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, shout out to freaking the misplay, man. Like all 3 of them made day 2.
Yeah,
Did
like
you
this
catch that?
weekend.
That was super. Yeah. Soap Yellow made day 2, Parmalee made day 2, and Gato Sujo. So shout out to them, man. That was absolutely fantastic. Like you
Yes,
guys are great people.
I saw Parm on. He was featured at one point on the Direwolf stream.
Oh, no kidding. That's so good, man. Like he made a point that him and Gato wanted to get better this year, and they're doing it. That's awesome.
Yeah, they are. Their team's also doing great. Oh, wait, and then at the end of the stream, they just kind of casually mentioned no spoilers, but they, name dropped the set that we're finally gonna get here in a few
Oh
weeks. Hopefully.
yeah. Yes. The winter hunt? Is that
It's
what it is? Cold hunt. Cold hunt.
Was it Cold Hunt?
Yeah, I think so, because the whole Quinn hunting. Somebody said that Quinn was hunting Severin. I don't know if that was just fanfare. I don't. I
think that
don't
was in the
like.
lore.
It was it. I probably should sit down and like read them or listen to them at some point just to get a better understanding, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what world and timeline we're on and what's going on.
Well, we're going
like,
back to Miria, I think.
Yeah.
is for sure.
Corset. What?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So.
In the spoiler pictures they showed, it was like a dino and.
Oh my god, Dino's Radiance, and sadly no Gunslinger, which makes me sad because Gunslinger is still probably my favorite tribe. If I don't know, I go back and forth between Gunslinger and like Unseen. I think the problem I have with Unseen, I dig the whole ninja thing, but their just mechanics are just so. Like I get the theme, right? Battle skills matter, but man, so rarely does it ever come together, right?
Yeah, I would bet money that we'll see at least some Yeti action and some Gunslinger action too.
Man, I don't know. There's a well, yeah, I guess with Quinn. What was Quinn? Do you remember what Quinn was? Was she a shaman or guns? What was she? Explorer? The only one we have of her is the 3-color one, right? The honor one. Well, I mean, I guess now we have the promo card. Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah, let's look it up because I can't remember the types.
What was she? Oh, Explorer Gunslinger. So I was a third, 2/3 right.
Quinn, by the way, in the lore is a they.
Oh, are they? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Good to know. Good to
Explorer
know.
Gunslinger. I'm not sure if the new one is that same type, but I think so.
Let's find out. All I gotta do is take off the multicolor.
Yep. Same.
Explore Gunslinger. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that card actually, like, it looked a little medium when they spoiled it, but man, that promo was really changed the format. It was really interesting.
Yeah, I think honestly what it was, if I'm being honest, 2 things I think is because I also thought it was kind of medium. I think the 2 things that people understand or like kind of caused people to be a little lower on it is the 3/4 essentially a vanilla 3/4 for 5, right? And then not realizing that the summon or create a card from your opponent, like in constructed, you're gonna get a good card, right?
And sometimes I get an unplayable blueprint. But
yeah, or I mean, she's less good against aggro, right? Because you might get their random aggressive 1 or 2 drop or whatnot, but in a mid-range tournament, like she's just great, right? Because you're snagging quality removal, you're snagging like a decent unit, right? Especially with all those Praxis decks. I can't tell you how many times I stole a unit with killer on it, and you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the stun the next unit played. That gives a lot of opponents a chance to mess up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People love
Yeah.
playing their Azendels into that and just
Yep.
just kind of wrecking themselves.
Yeah, breaking stealth was a really clean design on their part. Like it's a good time to release that card where she's extra potent, right? The one thing I will say about Quinn that it's just the nature of the beast is it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? When you get a really good card, you're like, oh sweet, but then you realize you're like, oh man, they're drawing this,
Right.
so
But sometimes it's a few turns before they draw it, and you get it.
yeah,
right
yeah, and that definitely got me. I was holding on to a exploit to grab the market card because I grabbed their grafter, and like 4 turns went by, and I was like, why are they not playing the grafter? And then I was like, are they just trying to go to the market and play it the same turn, you know? So because it was like literally 4 turns. I've been sandbagging this exploit for, you know, like 8 turns because I was like, oh, I'll grab their market grab with it, you know, and they were up to like 8 power or something like that. So I was like, all right, they're just sandbagging it. So I'm gonna fire it off, and nope, they just drew 4 power in a row. I was like, and then of course the next card was the grafter. I was like, I hate my judgment sometimes. All right. Well, I think that about covers it. I'm super excited. No other details. Like literally, they've only spoiled the artwork, but I'm excited for dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is one of my up there archetypes for sure. Back when I was building cubes for Eternal, I definitely felt I tried to sneak in those dinosaur archetypes when I could for sure. So
Well, I know because of the announcement, like I think we're planning our next episode to be the sunset episode for this draft set, right?
yeah, I think so. I think it's about time.
Yeah, because
just to kind of get ahead of it.
I'm pretty sure like we're gonna have the new set for the next draft open next month.
Oh yeah, they did say that because they're even calling it Cold Hunt, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I wonder, man, that's gonna be, no, I was thinking like if there's any value to trying to find the hidden archetype, right? It's very difficult to do in limited, right? Especially with such a small player group the Eternal has. Word travels fast because it only has to hit like 200 people. But
yeah,
I was just thinking like it went back to I forgot what. We don't reference Magic very often, but there was that one draft format. I forgot where it was the 1/1 unblockable, and one of the teams thought that just taking all of those guys and equipment was really busted. Do you know what I'm talking about? Was it?
I've heard the story. I can't recall the set or the card name.
Yeah, I think the unblockable was a common. It was like a 1/1, you know, for a blue, and it was just unblockable. But then I think there was a decent weapon going, like equipment going around. And so the team just solidified, like, hey, just grab these medium weapons and all the 1/1 unblockables you can. And they end up wrecking the limited because, you know, people just weren't seeing that in bulk or whatnot, something like that. I don't remember. I slept since then, so. But, anywho, all right, John, what do you think? I think I would say we've yapped for long enough, but
Yeah,
we're going to continue yapping, so. I know we missed you guys. We wanted to catch up a little bit, see what's up, give some shout outs and some love. So I have been enjoying this format. I gotta admit, I obviously haven't been able to draft as much as I would like to just because of life. But and I'm not gonna lie, I have been somewhat trying to be conservative with my goal just because there's a new set looming. So actually, let's go ahead and dabble on that real quick because. I mean, everyone knows both constructed players and limited players, and I think it goes both ways where some people really appreciate the bot drafts and some people don't. I know Cassandra is a person that they can't wait for them to be over with, and then I know people like you and me enjoy it because it has a slight cube feel to it, right? It's like, what kind of busted decks can we make? So
sometimes you get to play, you get to open and play, you know, multiple cards that you may not otherwise get to play ever in the whole draft format.
Yep. Yeah. Plus it makes very interesting deck building decisions because normally you have an abundance of resources. So now you really have to figure out where to trim and how greedy to get and how not greedy. So I think it's kind of interesting. I personally enjoy it. I'm glad the entire format is not like that. Right. Yes. I think if we had to draft the entire format always like that, I would get pretty stale on it. But, you know, 2 weeks of it or whatever. Now it's probably I don't know. It could go either way now because the jig is up, right? Everyone saves their gold to just spam all these bot drafts.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, they've shown that they have a new algorithm for packs as well. So, like, honestly, there might not even be our usual bot drafts, with rares and legendaries being passed when the set comes out.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I wanted you to mention because I wasn't aware of this. So did they put out any kind of verbiage or anything on this?
No, they just
it's
changed it without saying anything. Like these last couple pack swaps and whatnot, and like times where they've added cards to Expedition, it's been on like the new algorithm. Like this last draft tournament was on the new algorithm. It's like where the bots no longer just go crazy passing rares and legends. Like now they appear to prioritize some those cards where before they would just always pass them basically. And like so sometimes if it's like if there's some busted uncommons coming around, that's kind of like the side effect. But it's like normal where like after so many drafts being done by the community, like all those packs are run through and it's back to like kind of what we think are normal packs or whatnot, where they were previously drafted by a player. Like obviously anytime there's new packs coming out, they have to seed it in some way just because of the way the draft system works. And like if you don't like, I don't know if you remember this, but they showed that they had this different bot algorithm like months and months ago. Like one of the random pack swaps, they like used it and there was just no rare drafting. And then like I think there was enough people complaining or something, or maybe like maybe they just didn't make as much money as they normally do when the pack order swaps or whatever, and like they put it back to the rare drafting for a couple releases. And I think they put it back to the new one in order to kind of like have some more competitive integrity for the draft opens, which I feel like if that was their goal, I think that it accomplished that, at least to some degree, because it really ruined the prior draft open when it was like some players with 6 rares that it's like, what the heck is this, and like so many speaking circles and things like that, just like getting passed super late. It's like just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
and then you almost get punished for drafting the hard way.
Almost
like
I mean, if the side effect is higher competitive integrity, like I'm down for it, but like we like you mentioned, we enjoyed especially with new sets just getting a little crazy for like a few days or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'll
plus
miss that if it's gone for good.
Plus I feel if you're just a constructed player in Eternal, I feel like you always, and I could be wrong because I obviously draft, but I feel like you can always have an overabundance of currency, right? Because I mean, Eternal's pretty free to play friendly, I feel like it.
Yeah, if you're a grinder and you do like your 9 wins of one or both constructed formats, you have a ton of gold.
Yeah, so normally people just kind of do the hoard the gold, and then when the new set comes out, they just dump it all and click on the top left-hand card, as many times as they can.
If they're for sure onto this new system where there is no like period of rare drafting, like that theoretically would encourage some of these players to draft throughout the set and maybe increase the pool of players in the draft queues. However, these players aren't interested in playing draft. They just did it for the resources. So like I don't think that goal is going to get accomplished by the change, sadly. So,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't win them all.
Yeah, fair. All right. Sweet. Okay. Now I think it's time to draft.
All right. Yeah.
So once again, guys, if you made it this far, you can tune in the YouTube. Looks like timestamp is 28:30. Wow. Man, we could just go on, huh? It's cool kicking it with my homie.
Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on too, so.
Darth Herman, we miss you. Okay, you're
sadly,
adulting
Alex
so hard.
So busy lately.
Yeah, I thought I was busy, and like dad and family. I guess I have more free time since I don't have a family, so.
Yep.
All right, cool. Well then, guys, let's go ahead and fire this off, and we'll talk through it the best we can. And once again, I'll try not to spend too much time on each pick unless we hit a good decision point, which can happen sometimes. So, all right, let's fire this one off. All right, John. Let's see. Looking at the commons, pretty much the only, I guess, 2.5 cards that stand out to me. We have Archive Curator, the 1/4 flying mage for 4 time. Flying, then summon, you may silence another unit. Blocks good, it has evasion, and it gets sometimes can even quote unquote kill a unit by silencing it, depending on what's going on. Side Slash, a very aggressive fast spell, 2 fire, give a unit +4 attack or strength and overwhelm this turn, and then Plunder. And then to another extent, just because I value 2 drops in this, sometimes can draw you like half a card, I guess, is Blink Wolf, the 2/1 wolf for 2 fire, but then it has warp. So later in the game, you can kind of play it and then still play something else. There's Blink, but like I think this card is good as a one of in most cases, but I don't think I'm looking to first pick it. I mean, anything else stands out to you?
Another card that they added is Grave Tender, but like, yeah, I don't think that's on par with those cards you just mentioned. So no, those are the same commons I would be kind of looking at.
Okay. At the uncommons, we have Windcloak, which is the 2. They buffed this somehow. I don't remember. Did they make it cheaper? I felt like they buffed this, or am I?
What's the cost on the activation?
4.
It's 4. I don't remember a buff on this.
Yeah, I thought they might have just dropped the cost. Like maybe it costs 4, costs 3 or something. Anywho, so 2 in a primal. It's a relic, and then pay 4 to give a unit flying this turn, which you would think is kind of powerful, but I'll be honest with you, I've taken it twice because I'm like, well, in the late game, you could just give your best unit flying and get in there, right? But I keep cutting it from my deck because it just, there are times where it does nothing. So I don't know. I think it's very format dependent. Pistol Whip, not a card we care about. And then Cabal Cutthroat, solid card, 2/2 for 2 shadow, and then it has lifesteal. So I think I'd still take Archive Curator here over the Cutthroat.
Yeah.
But it just, the silence and flying is just so powerful.
Yeah, I agree.
And then our rare, which, I mean, if we're on the silence train, this is probably going to be my pick here. We have Sharp Tactician. This is the 2/2 Minotaur Soldier for 4 double justice. And then summon, silence another unit. Sharp Tactician gets +2/+2 for each battle skill it had. So Valor would work, right? If you silence a unit with Valor, this guy comes in as a 4/4. If you silence, I don't know, a flying Berserk, then it would be a 6/6.
Warcry Valor.
Yeah, Warcry Valor. Yeah, there you go. So I think it's between Curator and Sharp Tactician. Of note, double justice versus single time. And I feel like time is the best faction right now, right? Are you kind of on the same boat?
I'm kind of on the same boat.
Like, I don't think it's overwhelmingly the better, right? It's not, you need to be in time no matter what, but I do think it's kind of the best faction at the moment. So where are you at on this one?
Yeah, I like Sharp Tactician. I mean, they're very similar. And I think Justice is still great. Like, Justice is still probably like maybe tied or whatever for deepest faction in packs 2 and 3. Ultimately, it's gonna depend most on what's open throughout the draft, right? Whether we play either of these cards. But I mean, Curator would be kind of a splashable card, so there's some argument there. Like, I think some drafters may go Curator, but I'm definitely down for a Sharp Tactician.
Yeah. Justice has, I think, some of the best removal in the format, and then it also has the best 2-drop, like my boo. So yeah, I'm all about that. But like you mentioned on Farming Eternal, I think the general consensus is the draft pack is significantly weaker than the constructed pack. So it'd be beneficial to kind of stay as open as possible in pack 1, and then pack 2 start to solidify what direction you're going in. So yeah, let's go ahead and take the Sharp Tactician. Going into pack 1, pick 2, commons that we're looking at is pretty much just Mob Rule and Vara's favor. I don't like taking Devour this early. Mob Rule is the 2 shadow fast spell. Kill an enemy unit with strength equal to or less than your number of units. And then Vara favor is just, there's still a significant amount of X1s in this format, so I think this could still be a removal, but it can help smooth out your draws. 2 and a shadow. For a spell, lifesteal, deal 1 damage, draw a shadow sigil from your deck. And that's it, so we don't have to talk too much about that. At the uncommon slot, though, Sodi's Choice, Hot Blood Barbarian, 2/1 warrior for 2 fire. Berserk, summon, you may discard a card to create and draw temper. Of course, there's still that discard synergy in Justice and Shadow, or Argenport, I guess, in the Revelations pack. So this card isn't, it's just fine. Whatever. You guys have seen it before. I'm not going to talk too much about it. And then we have an Amber Monument, which is a depleted time source, time power, and then if you have a 5 power or more, it transmutes into a 5/5 Reinarch with Overwhelm. I feel like this card is good, but in a world with pop where you want to get to 6, it's a little awkward, right?
Yeah, it's the only kind of further upside is like you don't even have to be playing time to play that.
Yeah, fair. Good point.
So
Yeah,
like
true.
it would just it would make the deck regardless of what factions we're playing, as just like a land that, or a power card that grants like a very nice value. Like for me, it's definitely between that and the mob rule. Mob rule is like a new addition to the format, and it's been doing quite well for me.
Yeah, I agree. The good thing about Mob Rule too is it's another stealth check, right?
Yeah, you can.
Because you're like, okay,
and...
yeah, you're like, okay, 3 doesn't kill it, so it's probably the 4/1, or hey, 1 can kill it, so it's got to be the 1/4.
Right.
So, you can, yeah. So it's not bad. Yeah, I agree. I'm happy with it as well. I don't think I slam as many as I can, but I like it. So, man, time is, like we just talked about, time is one of the strongest factions. So, do we take the monument here? Or do we take the mob rule?
I think if we want to like. I don't know. I think if it was just my draft by myself, I'd probably take the monument.
Yeah,
I do like Argenport just fine. Yeah, like I said, mob rule has been doing great. It's just like I mentioned, like the monument will go in Combre, it'll go in time anything if we end up in time. It'll literally just make my deck period as long as I'm not playing, 4, 5, 6 drops.
Yeah, and plus, like we've talked about before on the show, right? Anytime you can get value out of your power supply, then you're kind of getting up a card, right? So I'm with you too. Yeah, I like Monument. So let's go ahead and grab that. Yeah, it's just extra value, right? At no cost. Oh, man. And then we get one heck of an Argenport follow-up. Of course, I never, ever get tribute on this guy, ever. But just playing him as is isn't horrible. So at the common level, real quick, that guy isn't uncommon, I'll get to. Cards we're looking at is Lightning Strike, 2 primal, fast spell, deal 4 damage to an attacking enemy. Of course, as a reminder, it does hit relic weapons. And then Workshop Tinker is the 2/2 for 2 justice, endurance, summon. You may discard a card to create and draw a Tinker, which is a +2/+2 to the top unit of your deck, and you scout 1. And then a card that, man, I keep being down on, but I feel like I need to come up on because every time my opponents played it, I've kind of like groaned a little bit. This is the Silverwing Purge Leader. Is a 3/4 Valkyrie for 6 justice, flying, tribute, lifesteal. And then, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much all I'm really looking at here. What do you think?
So I really do. I do like Sad Dad a lot. I'm still not high on the Purge Leader, really. For me, like I think the best cards here are like Lightning Strike and Sad Dad.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, at uncommon, it is Knight of Sorrow. It is the 4/4 Paladin for. Do we? Oh yeah, we do have Paladins. I was like, is that? Yeah, because there's the Argenport lady that built the whole Paladin deck. Yeah.
Even Paladin's deck.
Yeah. Is a 5/5 Argenport. It has lifesteal and then tribute +2/+2. So for 5, you can essentially get a 6/6 lifesteal. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think here I would take Knight of Sorrow. It's an uncommon, and we're still, once again, just I would still this early kind of take the best card in the pack, and that card is really powerful. Lifesteal on a 4/4 can really help swing a game one way or another. I do like my 2 drops, but I'd rather them go to Ursa Squadrons than Tinker.
Or
and I'll be completely honest with you, John. Primal just, I don't know if I'm playing it wrong, but I have not had a decent amount of luck with Primal in this format. And I've tried to do the aggressive thing. I've tried to do the flyer thing, and I must be playing it wrong. So I like Lightning Strikes. I personally do. I know there have been some formats where people don't. I like it, but I think here I would take Knight of Sorrow. What about you?
Yeah, I'm down for that. Like, I can't hate on Primal though. Like that, you were just talking to me earlier about that 7-0 deck me and IP were playing the other day.
Yeah, and it
That
was a
was
Legion, right?
Yeah, it was a Legion, and I think we had 2 Lightning Strikes, and I think 2 of those. It's in the pack here as well. The 4-drop 3/3 with Tribute, that
Mm-hmm.
Primal card.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys have
Mm-hmm.
been doing pretty good for me in this new format as well.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I am not knocking it. It's just me personally, right? I had a pretty busted Skycrag deck a couple of streams ago, and I still only managed to go 4-3 with it. And I did identify. There was one game where I identified where I made the misplay that kind of tilted it back in my opponent's favor. Is this the second Workshop Tinker that's premium in this draft? Right, the last one was premium too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How many of these do I have? Just out of curiosity. All right, I only have one premium one. All right, fair. All right, cards in this contention in this pack. Actually, it's pretty much just that. Workshop Tinker, we already talked about. The Scavenging Spike back that you just mentioned, the 3/3 Overwhelm, Tribute, +2/+2 for 4 and a Primal, and then Cut Ties. 6 Shadow Fast Spell, kill an enemy unit. Done deal. Man, honestly, I personally would just slam the Cut Ties here. Okay. It goes with our Night of Sorrow. It's later in the curve, so we could splash it because it's only 1 shadow. It's just clean, fast speed removal, so you have a higher chance of getting a 2-for-1 off of it. Is it weighted?
I can't remember what the rate on Cut Ties is right now.
Okay, fair. Anything else stand out to you? There's Sanguine Sword, the +2/+2 relic for 4 Argent Port. Summon, you may sacrifice a unit to give Sanguine Sword a +2/+2. Saddle Up, which just feels a scotch too expensive. Detain, that we can get pretty late, and then Spirit Drain, which is a begrudge and removal spell, and then a Hot Blood Barbarian.
Yeah, I actually kind of like Saddle Up, but I definitely don't mind taking the Cut Ties here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount of Berserk in the format, right?
Not so much in these colors. I think that's more in like Fire and
okay.
Primal.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Huru probably is what you're looking at. Huru, yeah. All right, we'll take Cut Ties here. Well, I'm starting to feel like Shadow's not open, but like we're so in this pack. What is this? Pick 5, right? Yeah. Pack 1, pick 5. We have Twinning Ritual, which I like taking late if you have a good card that you want to copy. It is the 2 Elysian slow spell. Create and draw a copy of a unit in your hand. Then the copy gets +1/+1. We have a Gaudy Showman, which is the 4/1 Oni Bard for 3 fire. Summon, exhaust an enemy unit, which is a great way to break stealth and just kind of get extra damage in when there goes aggressive units. Winnow is not a thing. Portent Reader, not a thing. Island's Favor, you can get pretty late. There's Stalking Cyberfang, which I've seen people play, but I don't like this card. I never have 2 units to give this thing a plus. So 2/2 Grenadin Wolf for 3 Primal, Berserk, and then Fate. If you have 2 or more units, Stalking Cyberfang gets a +2/+2. And then finally, another Mob Rule. So yeah, I would just take the Mob Rule here.
Yeah, that's like a super easy Mob Rule, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's nothing in here that's calling out to me at all.
I think it's worth mentioning, like, neither of these last 2 packs has had a time card.
Yeah, true story. Yeah, very true story. Ooh, oh my God. Well, we've identified the shadows open.
Yeah.
Like literally this pack, for those of you listening, is a Twin Sai, which is a green card, a Portent Reader, which is a green card, or a blue card, and then a Combust, which is Stone Scar, and then Faceless One Shadow, Dark Wisp Shadow, Fatal Misstep Shadow, and another Cut Ties Shadow. So I feel like we're on the right track here with some Argent Port goodness. I don't hate the second Cut Ties. Like there is a critical, you couldn't have too many Cut Ties at 6 for sure. But I think this early, I don't hate taking it just because to me, it's still unconditional, right? The 6 is a cost. I will admit that, right? It's pretty bad against aggro decks, but the only other option, Dark Wisp, we could take, but once again, I think I want to go through packs 2 and 3 first before I start prioritizing 2 drops. And then like, Fatal Misstep.
Misstep, personally.
Yeah, I like Misstep too. Do you take the Misstep here over the second Cut Ties?
I would.
Okay, all right, and you're the better drafter.
For going the other way, but yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of Misstep.
Yeah, I like it. I liked it from the beginning. I was probably higher on it when it first came out, and I think the community kind of have bounced. Ooh, So, all right. Oh my gosh, man, this is great. Like, see, sometimes you just identify the lane, man. All right. So in pack 1, pick 7, we have a Seat of Vengeance. So that's Argenport fixing, depleted unless you have a sigil in your hand. Sludge Blade is the +3/+3. All right. Long story short, there's nothing but Justice and Shadow in here. We have So we have Sludge Blade, which is the +3/+3 Valkyrie Warp, which is not a thing. +1/+1 Deadly. For 5 Shadow. But then the same pack we have Bandit's Flail, which I feel like does the same thing, is a little cheaper. +3/+2 Relic Weapon for 4 Shadow. We have Grit, we have another Workshop Tinker, and then we have a Direfang Spider. So I personally, for me, I think it's between Direfang Spider and Seat of Vengeance. I like, in a pop world, I like having a little bit of a safety valve where some of these cheaper deadly units can kind of hold down the ground for you, right? And in Shadow, there's a good chance we have a way of getting it back if we need to. That being said, though, fixing is very limited in this format. Well, not very limited, but it's not a plenty. So, and even running 2 colors, sometimes I get faction. So, man, is it crazy for me to kind of want that Seat here?
No, I would slam the Seat, and it is. I think the second pick is also Spider for me.
All right, cool. I'm doing something right. Sweet. Yep, we'll take Seat of Vengeance. This is looking good for us for pack. Man, this is looking really good for us for pack 4, dude. I'll tell you what.
Well, as long as, if 2 and 3 is like Argenport's open at all, we're going to be looking very good. But
oh yeah, very good point. We can easily just
fingers.
Yeah. Now watch, it's like whatever, Skycrag's open in packs 2 and 4 or 2 and 3.
But okay, because we already got the Seat, maybe we get some more fixing. Like, there's a chance that we end up in like Comray splashing Shadow, and it won't be a big deal.
Yeah, or Xenon. Xenon in the splash. I mean, we could splash the Knight of Sorrow and then just cut the Tactician, right? All right, so pack 1, pick 8, we have Tinker Apprentice Rebuke, which is the 2 Justice slow spell, silence and stun an enemy unit. Snow Rager Valkyrie Emulator, the 1/2 Valkyrie Simulacrum for 2 generic flying, summon, plunder, and then a reinforced baton, which is the +2/+3 relic weapon for 3 double justice, and that's it. That's all it is. So, John, I'm thinking Valkyrie, man.
Sure, it's between the Valk and the baton probably for me. Like, Valkyrie gets so much better if you have some way to, like, if we end up with some Warcry, it'll be a little better. If we end up with like a nice weapon to slap on it, like Lethrai Falchion or something, that makes it a lot better. And like, baton has kind of been doing pretty good for me as well. So yeah, either one of those is okay with me here.
I like baton too. I feel like this format actually caters to it pretty well, but I like the insurance of plunder on the Valkyrie, and then it's evasive. So I think here, just to be safe and not really know which direction we're going in yet, I think I'd take it Valkyrie here.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, our first pack with kind of nothing, but it's pretty late. Nothing going on here. Sleeping Drought, play a unit from your void that died this turn. How do you feel about this card? I think it's too situational.
Yeah, it's not something I would prioritize at all. But like, if I'm short on playables, maybe I'll play it or something.
Yeah, we might as well take it. The only thing left is a Cloud Snake Hatchling, a Vicious Rumors, and Encroaching Vine.
It'd be a lot better if it said like play a unit that went to your void this turn, because then it would be kind of like a sweet combo with like Fatal Misstep.
Yeah, for
like,
sure, for sure.
And play it, but nah.
Yeah. Pack 1, pick 10, we have Touch of Grace, which is the 2 Justice fast spell Warp. Give one of your units invulnerable damage this turn. Womp womp. But we do have a Death Strike, which is a 3-time spell with Warp. Give one of your units killer. Yeah, I like this card. We're still not sure where we're going, so yeah, just take the Death Strike, right?
Works for me.
Yep. Death Strike, and then a Ghost Form and a Faceless one. I don't really like Faceless one. I really despise cards that say can't block, honestly. We're probably not playing Ghost Form either, but I think it's still the pick here.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Put it in the market, and then Exotic Purchase. Ooh. One of the most last pick cards I've ever seen. Well, that's a good start.
Hey.
All right, so pack 2, pick 1. Cards we're looking at the common slot. We have Ransack, which it always makes your deck, but it's depending on your opponent's deck. Let's see, Freight Azuri, Ransack is 2 shadow, discard a card to draw the top 2 cards of the enemy player's deck. Freight Asri is the 2/4 flying bird or soldier bird. Summon, you gain an Aegis that ironically stops Ransack for 4 primal. I guess Surprise Raid is fine. Surprise Raid is a 2 felon spell. Lifesteal, deal 2 damage to the enemy. If you have a hidden unit, draw a card. Excuse me. Birdish Grenahawk. Wow, a lot of decent commons in this pack. Birdish Grenahawk is a 1/4 Grenadin bird for 3 Skycrag. Flying, pay 4 to give Burnish Grenahawk +3 strength this turn. Open Way Supplier, +1 or a 1/1 soldier for 2 time. Maximum +1 maximum power. Summon the top unit of your deck, its killer. And then Nurturing Sentinel, the 1/4 Sentinel for 3 time. Stealth. Ultimate, at the start of your turn, reveal Nurturing Sentinel to draw a random sigil from your deck. Out of these commons, anything stand out to you?
Sure. With no regard to our first pack, I think the best common is Open Way Supplier. And then like Freight Asri maybe second best. I think the Supplier is probably the best common there.
Yep, I agree. Going into uncommons, we have Well-Laid Trap, which is the 0 Justice fast spell. Give an attacking enemy unit plus or -2 strength this turn, then ready one of your units and give it endurance this turn. We have Grizzled Guard, which is the 4/4 soldier for 5 primal. Aegis Stealth Ultimate. When Grizzled Guard blocks, reveal it to give your blocking units +2 health this turn. And then finally, a card that I personally don't like, but I keep seeing people play it, and it does do some work. So I'm really not sure. I'm curious to see where you're at on it. Afflictor, a 1/1 shaman for 1 shadow. Pay 2, exhaust Afflictor, and discard a card to play a -1/-1 curse on an enemy unit and gain 1 health. Or 1 life, I'm sorry. Talk to me about these 3.
Sure. I like all these uncommons. Okay, like Afflictor is almost in like the begrudgingly playable category for me though. But like, yeah, the primal, the Grizzled Guard is quite good. And then Well-Laid Trap, like that makes a pretty good number of my decks. But sometimes it can be a little lacking because it's a defensive only. So it does get cut sometimes if I have enough better tricks and things. But yeah, like Grizzled Guard is the best card, like overall card in the pack so far.
Yeah, then once again, because we like to stay open to find out what's in pack 2, I think that's why I kind of went through most of the pack, because I think Grizzled Guard is a completely justifiable pick here, still not knowing what's going on, right? The only issue, I think it's funny. So the only issue I have with Well-Laid Trap is it's literally the only 0 cost spell. So it's very easy for people to identify it. So you kind of have to be very careful of if you could try to hide it to a certain extent, or, to fire it off when you can, because once they kind of pinpoint it, then, they can somewhat play around it.
Definitely.
So it's not a completely back-breaking effect. So there's some cards like, Shackles, right? Shackles is very well. You say it's not very difficult. I have a hard time playing around it sometimes. It might be the deck I play. But so versus Well-Laid Trap,
It's
once
similar.
you identify
It's pretty easy to identify when the opponent has a Shackles.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing I think that makes Grizzled Guard so good is the fact that the 5 cost stealth unit from Primal is also completely playable, right? The 5/4 Overwhelm. And I think that adds strength to it because of the fact that
the 4/5 Berserk at common.
Yep.
Uncommon,
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, so I think that adds power to it, because I don't know about other people. Every once in a while I consider the guard, but most of the time I just assume that if Primal plays a 5-drop, it's the 5/4 Overwhelm.
So a lot of people waste a card on the Aegis. It's a real thing.
For sure. But We don't mind being justice, and we have one heck of a rare that, oh my god, dude, there was one stream like 2 weeks ago or something like that where I went up against 3 people with this card. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Sizzle was trolling me so bad. Sizzle and Pachi were both like, it is Kako. I'm like, it can't be, it's a rare. Every time they're like, oh, there's another Kako. I'm like, they're playing Skycrag. Kako, the bodyguard, Keiko, a 2/2 soldier for 3 justice, lifesteal, stealth. At the start of your turn, if Kako, yeah, I like Kako better. If Kako is hidden, he gets +1/+1, so he keeps growing every turn. Ultimate, when exactly 2 enemies attack, reveal Kako to give them -6 strength this turn. So he's kind of the counter to Tandem, right? Attacking, which is perfect in this set. Initially, I didn't realize how valuable Tandem was going to be, right? There were a couple times where I was like, this card was okay, I guess. But then I was like, wow, the blowouts this card creates is ridiculous.
Yep.
So, yeah. And then obviously he plays Detain or whatnot. This guy's great. I think I would just slam him here. What about you?
Yeah, I love Kako. It's another, like we just mentioned, trap being kind of something people will identify and play around. Like I've had a few games where I've identified properly that the opponent had a Kako and managed to play around the effect too. It's a fun one to have in the format, and it's a good.
Well, I mean, it's also, you can only play around it so much, right? Because if you don't pop it, then it just keeps growing, and eventually they can attack with it.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
But like,
so
sometimes you'll be in a board state where like, you'd want to like get an ace base in or something, but you're like, man, if this is the Kako, I get so wrecked. And you maybe have 2 evasive units, and so like maybe you take one turn, quote unquote, off to just send in like your 2 flyers and reveal it, or the coast is clear for next turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. All right, we're slamming Kako here, and hopefully we get rewarded. Let's see here. Ooh, all right. So going into pack 2, pick 2. So speak of the devil, we have Topple, which is 3 justice spell. Kill an enemy unit with the highest strength among all units. And then telekinetic shackles, ding ding ding. 1 time, prevent all damage an enemy of your choice would deal this turn. Amplify 3, prevent all damage from another enemy. Of course, this could target your opponent to stop burn spells and weapons. At the uncommon level, we have a Legion Blueprints, which I don't think we're looking at anymore. And then a Hidden Crusader. So we could have gone Grizzled whatever and Hidden Crusader, which is the 2/3 soldier for 3 justice, or oh my gosh, correction, 3 primal. Stealth, when the Hidden Crusader is revealed on your turn, so you can just attack with it if you want, draw a card. If she's revealed on the enemy's turn, play a 2/2 soldier. So Hidden Crusader is fine, it's good, but I don't think it's Shackles or Topple good. And at this point, I think I would take the Topple just because we kind of, I'm personally leaning towards Arch Report right now. I think it's still early, but Topple, you could splash. We have the seat that we took early, so that's where I'm at. What about you, John?
Oh yeah, I would definitely slam this Topple here. I think Hidden Crusader is a solid value, primal card, and maybe a sign that we're probably we might get past some more primal cards, but we have no primal so far.
Yeah.
And yeah, like Topple's just great. You can play a bunch of 3-4 Topples and be happy about it. May not even need the cut ties, at the end of the day, if we have enough of those. Sadly, like there's no great shadow cards in this pack to really consider.
Yeah, well, granted, once again, we're not worried about wheeling an Eternal, and then they just took an uncommon. So of note, also there's the Concealed Veteran, which is the 3/3 for 3, which is pretty solid because there's all the time units have decent stealth, so it's hard to kind of read. And then the Xenon 2/2 Deadly Mandrake, the Lurking Feeder, is stealth while you have a unit in your void for 3 shadow, or is 3 Xenon. So, but yeah, I think in this position I'd still probably lean either Topple or Shackles, and yeah, we'll take the Topple here.
Topple.
Ooh, speaking, man, all right, things are lining up for us. This is interesting. So in this pack, I will mention we have pack 2, pick 3, right? Yeah, pick 3. We have Camouflage Soldier, which actually I haven't played in a while, and I see why it's an uncommon, but I actually like this card just because of its flexibility. This is the 2/2 soldier for 3 generic, and then stealth, and then intrigue 2. So you can pay an additional 2, i.e. it comes in for 5, and it gets a +2/+2. So not amazing. I'm not like we did it, boys, but I've liked this card a couple times. There's a Bruner's Grin, a Hawk, but I don't think we're on that boat. So cards we are looking at. There is a Thorn Crawler for 1 lifesteal stealth mandrake that cannot block for 3 shadow. There's Genius Combatant, which is the 3/2 soldier for 3 justice with valor and stealth. And then a D'Angelo Racketeers, which is the 3/2 rogue for 4 Argentport. When D'Angelo Racketeers goes to your void, you may pay 2 to play a 4/3 black back alley bouncer, which of course means you can either when it dies or when you discard it to something. Just because I've seen people play it, I personally won't play this card. But Awakening, it is a 1 justice spell. Discard a card to play 2 1/1 awakened with valor.
No.
Yeah, I've yet to put this card in a deck, honestly. So, all right, talk to me, John.
Yeah, I'm between the 3 of those cards you mentioned, Combatant, Thorncrawler, and D'Angelo Racketeers. I wouldn't pick the Camouflage Soldier over any of those personally.
No, yeah, yes, I agree with you.
And it's pretty close, honestly. We don't have any like, huge reason to want any one of these in particular. Like Thorn Crawlers are pretty good with Knights of Sorrow. As far as something you want you want to attack in, it'll trade with like most things, and like your opponent is also incentivized to get off the board as quick as possible. So it's like a relatively good tribute enabler. But I don't think that's like a huge we only have 1 Knight of Sorrow right now. I just like the Racketeers, I think, is probably the best of the 3 right now. We're not like clogged up on 4s or anything. We already have 1 incidental way to mill ourselves with Fatal Misstep, and it's just like a solid value card that tends to overperform even when I'm not discarding it. Just kind of being able to trade with something, or it's just like a solid value card, right? Is that your experience with it so far?
Yep, I agree. That's what I would take here as well. Yeah, I like Racketeers. I'll play as many of them as I can, honestly.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. And like that also is kind of decent at helping tribute. So I think, if we're doing Thorncrawler for that reason, I think it's fine to just pick that.
Yep. Sweet. All right, moving into pack 2, pick 4. Cards in contention are Topple, 3 Justice. Oh, we just talked about it. Rune of Law, which is, we've established in previous podcasts, we feel this is actually the weakest rune. Where I thought at one point it was going to be a strong one, but yeah, it seems like just a slow speed saddle up is not good enough. So Topple, Rune of Law is a power, gain a justice source, depleted unless you have played a sigil this game, and then amplify 5. Play Saddle Up, which we talked about earlier, is a +4/+4. There's a Ransack, and then there's a Muck Devourer, the 4/2 quick draw stealth beast for 5 shadow. I think it's just Topple, right?
Yeah, it's just Topple.
yeah, let's just go ahead and move on.
It's definitely between those cards, but
I think I've played 1 Muck Devourer in all of Revelations, and it was a deck where I was definitely lacking.
I've played a few of them. It gets a little better when you're running like the 1-drop that buffs a unit in your hand, and just Warcry units. Like it definitely has a place in the format. And
oh yeah, for sure.
I've run it in a lot of decks where I'm playing Shadow. Like I'd rather have something better, but yeah, it does the job.
Yeah, the quick draw makes it significantly better on offense. Obviously, I know I feel like I was just stating the obvious, but I mean, with stealth, you can typically get like a unit off of it, and it's not horrible, right?
Yep.
Okay, pack 2, pick 5. We have Turn for the Worse. I've yet to see anyone play this card. Oh no, I've seen my opponents play. I haven't played it, but it's 1 shadow for a fast spell. Kill an enemy unit that has taken damage this turn. So it's not it doesn't always have to be a 2-for-1, right? You can essentially block with, for example, a 1/4, their 3/3, and then kill it. But I think it's way too situational. There's Orin Brute, which is the 2/3 Minotaur Soldier for 2 Justice, and that's it. It's fine. It does work. It's okay in this format just because there are a lot of 2X's, but there's also a lot of 2X's with Valor, so it's not as good as it could be. just to mention it, there is infused with venom. I feel like we're pretty solidified. I mean, yeah, I feel like I want Argentport now, but we do have infused with venom, which is a fantastic combat trick. 3-time fast spell, give a unit +2 health and deadly this turn. And then finally, card that I like. I don't think it's what was the 4/4 they gave you 4 armor for 6? What was that thing called? I can't believe I forgot the name of it.
Or the flyer?
No, the flyer.
Smogwing Tinker?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that guy I would slam as many as I could regardless. I don't feel like this card's that good, but it's pretty good. I've liked it. Inquisitive Alchemist is a 4/4 Tinker for 5 Justice, Stealth, and then if you have just a Justice influence, when Inquisitive Alchemist goes to your void, the top unit or weapon of your deck gets +2/+2. I think I'd take the first Alchemist here over the Brute, but of note, we still only have 1 2-drop, but still early in pack 2. So yeah, I think I'm on Alchemist here. What about you?
Easy Alchemist for me. I'm so low on Brute.
Yeah. I've continuously gone lower and lower with Brute. All right, well, here's an interesting one. So pack 2, pick 6. We have Staunch Protector, which is the 3/4 for 4 Justice. When you attack with exactly 2 units, they get Endurance this turn or another Inquisitive Alchemist.
No shout out for the Glen Pathcutter?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry, my bad. I completely missed that. Glen Pathcutter is a 2/1 Elf Rogue for 1 Shadow. And then if you have just a Shadow influence, when Glen Pathcutter goes to your void, give a unit or weapon in your hand +2 attack. Yeah, Pathcutter is great. So actually seeing that, it's probably between Alchemist and Pathcutter. I feel like this format actually has a decent amount of good 4s. So I'm a little bit lower on Staunch Protector than normal. I think it's solid. I like the card a lot, but I think it was stronger in the first iteration of this format where there weren't as many busted 4s, and obviously it goes great with Pop. I think I still like Alchemist over Pathcutter, but I could be wrong. I mean, it's a 5 versus a 1/2 drop.
Yeah, if you look at what our deck is currently lacking, it's the 1/2 category for sure.
I think you're right. I probably I think with that being said, I'd probably take the Pathcutter here.
Yeah, like we're kind of getting through pack 2 with only right now we only have the Valken emulator.
Yeah.
And that's a card that goes great with the Glen Pathcutter. So like it is very close, but like I bet we're gonna get another chance at an Alchemist too, and then we're, it's like we're gonna be getting a little clogged up in our top end.
No, you're right. Yeah, I agree. You're right.
Probably just a Pathcutter.
Yeah, no, I think it is. I think you definitely want to make sure you have your curve, because we also haven't seen my Boo yet, so I'm a little concerned. Though I do still think Justice is open. So, I mean, they left 1 uncommon, so they've taken 2 uncommons and a rare, so they took 2 other cards over Alchemist and Staunch Protector, and I don't think if someone was drafting Justice ahead of us that would happen, right?
Agreed.
Like I can't, unless they took the Ursa Squadron out of the pack. Like that's the only thing I can think of. But there's nothing else at the common level that pops into my head that they would take over either of these 2.
Topple.
Yeah, true, Topple. Yeah, fair. But we just got a Topple the pack before, so all right.
Yeah, just
so we'll take
looking pretty open.
Yeah, so we'll take Pathcutter here, and man, I can't stand. I hate that reset the day is in this draft format, because every time I initially think it's Behold the Truth, like for a half a second, you know what I mean? Like my brain registers it, but I'm just like uncommon time. So all right. In this pack, we pretty much have an Orn Brute and a Ransack. So Brute for 2-drop. I mean, we do. What's up?
Ransack?
So what? Because of the Racketeers and the Alchemist and the Pathcutter?
Man, I've been having fun with Ransack. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, we can get both of those late, so I guess you're right. Let me go ahead I'm gonna go ahead and cut time, or at least the Death Strike. We can probably leave the Monument, but maybe not.
Right now we're playing Monument, I think.
Yeah. All right. So we'll take the Ransack here over the Orn Brute. There's nothing else in the pack. Well, boom. Hot again. Reset the day. Why?
Shout out to Law Warriors Expedition deck. Apparently playing a Reset the Day in the market.
Yeah. So it has. I mean, I get. We kind of talked about it a little bit. If anyone knows, by all means, let us know in the comment or just message us in game or in the Discord. But it was pretty much, we figured it was just kind of a thing. If the game goes late, they don't have a hand, you can kind of like reset the day, essentially filling up your hand and then pitching whatever hand sculpting that the Felon decks were doing. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess
maybe it's a little bit for an overloader matchup, but I saw they were also running Honoris Roa, which is good in that match. You know, it's like that's a market choice, I would think, for that matchup. So like, I think it might just be like to hopefully apply maximum pressure the next turn, right? Like, yeah, it was interesting. I just noticed that when we were reviewing the deck before the show.
Yeah. And hey, shout out to what was it? Enoa Roas? Wait, right?
Honoris Roa?
Yeah, Roa, there we go. Yeah, I ended up doing my mono time deck on stream just to close out the stream, and we went up against the combo deck, and I just completely forgot that two of those guys protect each other. And my opponent kind of forgot too, till they were gonna combo off, and they're like, wait, how come my favorite didn't do damage? And then they were like going back and forth reading them both. It's like,
Yeah. It's like a mini version of having two Queens of Glass in play.
Yeah, word. All right, so in this pack we have Deep Cover Operative, which I personally, let's go ahead and talk about it. I don't like this card, honestly. I could be wrong. Deep Cover Operative is a 2/2 rogue for 3 shadow stealth, and then when Deep Cover Operative hits the enemy player, you draw a card and take 1 damage. I feel like if you're running shadow, people are gonna get rid of or block your stuff because the Leatherhide gets bigger, the Thorn Crawler gains you life, so this thing's just not gonna make contact with the opponent unless you've already cleared the board. I don't know. Where are you at on Deep Cover Operative? I personally don't like this card. I don't fault people for running it, but I don't like it.
If you're playing Argenport like we are, like that means that whatever, you know, essentially our 3-drop stealth unit is an X2 or an X1, right? Like, so like the jig is up if you're an Argenport with this card. I think in Xenon maybe it has the best chance of connecting once, but like, you know, going up a card and just having a 2/2 in play is still kind of a medium thing. So like, yeah, I'm with you. I've played it occasionally, but
yeah,
it's definitely not great in Argenport.
Fair enough. And I definitely think we've identified the right lane. So we got pretty lucky here. We have another Oran Brute, which once again, got to keep an eye on our 2-drops, but we have another D'Angelo Racketeers. And man, I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like I said earlier, I take as many of them as I can get. I would slam Racketeers here.
Yeah, we even got our ransack combo going, so let's do it. Racketeers.
Boom. All right, Racketeering it. Okay, so towards the end of the pack, we have Manufactured Force, which is the stealth unit I don't like. I like the 3/1 because it could normally trade with stealth units, but the 1/3 is just straight garbage in this format. There's a Cloaked Guide, which there's an Awaken, and I don't think we're honestly taking any of this, right? We don't care about any of this.
I think we can take this Awaken and hope we don't need to.
Yeah, so we'll take the Awaken. Oh, hey, almost looks like the same pack. Yeah, Cloak Guide, Awaken, and then a Spiny Grenadin versus the Sentinel at double disc. Well, I guess we'll take an Awaken, whatever. Oh, hey, is this? Huh. So I have only played against this card twice. I have never played it in my deck yet because every time I've seen it, I haven't had the discard deck, right? This is Recruitment Effort. It is a 3 Justice Relic and uncommon. The first time a player discards a card each turn, play a 2/2 Awakened Soldier. If you already have one, give it +2/+2 instead. So you got to remember, this is a format where there's a chance that both players are trying to do discard things. So your opponent could trigger this for you. Obviously, we are the Argenport semi-discard deck. So I personally think this card is a little too clunky. The 2 times I've played it, once my opponent got a 2/2 out of it, and that was it. Another time, I think they got a 6/6 out of it. And I don't remember if we were both discarding or if it was just them. I honestly don't remember. It was very early in the format. I guess maybe that's a testament. The fact that I haven't seen it probably means it's not good. And you know me, I'm very hard pressed to build around unless I'm streaming. So I haven't played with this card. Where are you at on it?
It's definitely a little clunky. I've seen it in action a few times, and it's been anywhere from like just terrible to like medium. And then like one time I remember like I was kind of playing the discard deck and my opponent played one of these, and it just made things a little awkward for me. Like I kind of like it slowed me down. Like I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't just do all the things I was trying to do like when I wanted to. Like I had to like, you know, I had to kind of play around it a little bit. But it's like, sitting there and play. So it's like not, you're not like just guessing a card in their hand to play around. It's just sitting there staring at you. Um, I, I think I would just take the the other card here. Like we're not really discarding yet. Like we have a ransack that we're maybe going to play, and you just took two awakenings that we don't want to play
Mm-hmm.
if we can
Mm-hmm.
help it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, fair. I literally just, yes. In here, it's a hired cutthroat, which is the other one, the 3-1 that I was just talking about, which I actually like. I mean, it's still the first thing I cut when I can, but it does work. I just wanted to talk about recruitment effort because it's essentially a build around uncommon, and I've just not had enough experience. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take the hired cutthroat, and we'll keep it in the main deck right now, but hopefully we can cut it because Justice Shadow has some pretty decent stealth units.
hmm
And then another manufactured force. So we'll go ahead and put that in the market. All right. I'm going to go grab some more water real quick while you talk about pack 3, pick one, which looks like a spicy one.
okay,
I'll be right back. Give me like a minute.
sure. So in this pack we have we're looking pretty solid Argenport now, so I think I can skip quite a few of these. There's a topple here. We've already got 2 topples. I'd be happy to take a third. And then there's really only one other card to even consider here, and it's a Diangolo Might, which is a 6 shadow slow spell. Draw cards equal to the highest strength among your units. And we have a reasonable unit base for this Diangolo Might here. I know sometimes like it can be kind of, it got nerfed recently from 5 to 6 cost. But I mean, in draft, I think this is like a good way to mostly refill, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
some of our lower, we have a couple 1 and 2 strength units, but most of ours are like 3, 4, 5 probably. So I'm
Yeah, I
definitely,
think we're pretty comfortable in the 3-4 range for
yeah.
sure.
And like having a Diangolo Might really ups the value of certain cards. Like we passed a Thorncrawler earlier. Like now I'd
Mm-hmm.
be happy to play like a few Thorncrawlers just to turn on the Might. Like drawing 4 is so good.
Yeah.
Um,
The good thing too is that like in limited you have to play around less straight up removal, right? So it's a little bit safer to play as well versus in constructed you're kind of like, all right, do I have a removal spell here or not? So
yeah, and like
um
the removal that you run into the most that would be problematic for that is Topple, and it's slow.
yeah, exactly. And I'm assuming you already mentioned the top on the pack.
Yeah, I think it's really just those 2 cards. Like everything else is in
Yeah.
other colors.
Yeah,
And
I
the rare
agree.
is not good. Even if you're in time, it's one that I pass pretty often.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I'm not a big fan of that
the
card either.
6 times 6/3. So
Yeah. So I do like another topple, but yeah, I guess yeah, I like might. I think I'd take the card advantage here, and we're just like I feel like we're gonna end up being good on top end. Like if our top end is 2 spells, I'm perfectly okay with that.
I agree.
All right, we'll take the Diangolo Might here. Oh my god, am I about to wreck my draft? Oh god, this pack is
No,
ridiculous.
such a good pack though. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, this pack is
Wow.
preposterous. All right, so pack 3, pick 2. Who passes this card? Like I have train wrecked my drafts before for this card, and it's still delivered, honestly. So our rare, the card I'm talking about is Azrog Street Breaker, which honestly is pretty much I don't remember about the legendaries, but it's definitely the best rare in the format, right? I can't think of a rare that's better than this.
Guardian Angel and Azrog.
Oh yeah, Guardian Angel is really solid too as well. So Azrog is a 6/4 giant rogue. I don't know how that works. How are you a giant rogue? Anywho, 6 fire. When you attack with exactly 2 units, so the tandem effect, deal 4 damage to an enemy. It could go face, it could go to a blocker. Entomb, the top 2 units of your deck get a +4 strength and charge. This card is just a banger. Holy cow. That being said, it is double fire. We're pretty solidified in Argenport. I don't think it's worth wrecking our draft here. If we were only in one color, I would consider it.
Or if we had a
But
random, Stone Scar thing and maybe 2
yeah,
Bannermen, I'd still consider it.
yep. There is a Gavel's Insight, which is a great combat trick, and a pop, but I think we're just gonna go ahead and ignore those at this point. I think we would just want to solidify Argenport at this point.
There's some great Argenport cards in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this pack is loaded. So commons, we have another D'Angelo Racketeers, a Reliable Troops, an Oran Brute, and then another Topple. But then that uncommon, we have the Glen Sapper, which is a 1/1 mage for 1 shadow flying. Then ultimate, pay 6 and discard your hand to play 2 Shadow Sea Slimes with strength and health equal to the number of units in your void. Yeah, that card just wins games. That card is absolutely fantastic. I like that if you're in a pinch, you could play it early, right? You typically, honestly, the jig is up. I think everyone knows this is a good card, so playing it early kind of opens it up to easy removal. So you typically want to play this for 7 and then immediately discard, which is fine because, I mean, it gives you time to fill up your void and make sure you're not discarding a ton of stuff out of your hand. I don't really see with the activation being 6 to kind of do the whole activate this and discard 2 Racketeers, get 2 full force plus all your, 2 sub. I think you're kind of living the dream there. And then, just to mention, there is also a miasma, which I keep cutting, honestly, but I could see it doing some work, which is enemy units get -1/-1 this turn at fast speed for 4 shadow. John, where are you at? You're on Glen Semper too, right?
I am. Yeah, it's between Topple and Glen Sapper, and we already have some solid removal, 2 Topples. We might even get past another one. They're kind of flowing. So, but yeah, Glen Sapper is one of the best non-rares in the format period.
Yeah. Man, this has been a solid draft. I've enjoyed this.
There's a Stormhawk Concoction in here, which we're not really considering, but that's also a really solid card.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That card's fantastic. Oh, especially with a Kako.
I think this is the first Populous controller we've seen.
I think so too.
So yeah,
we'll take Glen Sapper. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, there's Shadowpath Intimidator, which I think I like this card a lot. It is a 2/2 rogue for 2 shadow. Summon the enemy unit of your choice can't block this turn, or player of your choice discards the top 2 cards of their deck. So this thing really makes its money with that whole enemy unit of your choice can't block, because sometimes in an aggressive deck, it makes it to where their best blocker can't block, or you make their chump blocker not block and they have to block with their best unit, right? If it's a favorable trade for you. But then the other trick is that obviously it's a free way to break stealth, which I think this card is great. We do still need 2 drops. And now that we have a Glen Sapper, we kind of want to lean a little bit heavier on units, but there is an Overthrow, which is a 4 double J fast spell. Kill an enemy unit or a site with cost 4 or more. So, of course, the big thing is killing a unit with cost 4 or more at fast speed. So, man, it's close because we need 2 drops, right? But Overthrow is just so good. Like, I think I would take Overthrow, and that would probably be my last spell for the maybe cut like the mob rule. I'm not sure, but
no, I think if you're gonna cut something, it's like cut ties, right?
Oh yeah, I could see that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I just
you're not wrong about the 2 drops. I do like Overthrow too.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for removal, I'm not gonna lie, and Overthrow has yet to disappoint me in this format, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, there's always a 4, 5, or 6 that you want to get rid of.
Cool. So we'll take Overthrow here, but we really need to start looking at our 2 drops. Oh, speak of the devil. Okay, cool. So we have another Inquisitive Alchemist and then a Shadowpath Intimidator. So I think here, as much as I like Alchemist, I think here we just have to take the Intimidator. It doesn't look as much as Justice feels open. I don't know where the squadrons are, but they are not in this draft.
Yeah, I agree. We just need 2 drops at this point. And that's, like you just mentioned, a very solid one.
So we'll take that one. Oh my gosh, darn it. Okay, so this is actually interesting. So we have another afflictor. I'm sorry. So pack 3, pick 5. We have another afflictor. We have another D'Angelo Racketeers. We have a rune of law, but then we also have a rune of illusion, which is the shadow one that gives you ghost form. So lifesteal and unblockable for a turn. I like rune of illusion a lot. It definitely wins games and changes math when you're racing. I've lost this card plenty of times. It's won me a couple times. But once again, with Sapper, we're at 11 units here. I think I would still take the Racketeers.
Yeah.
Where are you at, John?
I agree. We still just need to kind of load up on units. Like, there's no guarantee that we're going to get anything really playable in the unit category in pack 4.
Yep.
It's sad to pass the illusion, because I like that card a lot as well. But
yeah, I agree. Oh, this is actually kind of tough. I'm gonna have to defer to you. Actually, I mean, okay. So, pick 6, pack 3. We have Off Book Officer, which is a 2/1 soldier for 4 double justice, double damage, summon, silence an enemy unit, or play a 1/1 steadfast deputy with Aegis. And I was high on this card going into this format, and you know what? It has not disappointed me. I've been very happy with Off Book Officer. She's a little fragile, but man, if you're in something like Rakano, you can definitely threaten smashing someone with the double damage. And much like what we talked about with Curator, sometimes silence is just straight up removal. So I like that card. There's also a Genius Combatant, which I don't remember if we've seen one yet or not. I think this is actually the first one we've seen, which is the 3/2 Valor Stealth Soldier for 3 Justice. And we're good on 4s. We have literally 4 4s and they're all solid. So I think, even though I like personally, in a vacuum, I like Off Book Officer more, I think I'd take the Combatant here.
yeah, I definitely don't disagree. We need to lower our curve just a little bit. And like you mentioned, I think Off Book Officer shines the most in Rakano. It is still close, but yeah, I think I would take the Combatant as well.
Yep. And of note, just to throw it out there is a late evoker in the pack, which is the 2/3 mage for 3 fire stealth ultimate. Whenever the start of your turn, or at the start of your turn, reveal evoker to play a ruinous burst. That card is great. It definitely shouldn't be this late in the pack, but okay, we'll take combatant. All right, come on. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I knew you weren't gonna let me down, boo. I knew it. All right, we have Unchecked Upgrader, which is the 3/2 Grenadin for 4 shadow. When one of your units hits the enemy player, it gets +1 strength permanently. The card is good, but once again, we're high on 4s. But then, ding, 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 Ursa Squadron. 2/2 Soldier Bear for 2 Justice, Valor, and Warcry. My personal pick for the best 2-drop in the set. Yeah, we just slam Squadron here, right?
For sure.
Slam Squadron. Do we get rewarded again? It's a 2-drop, but not 1. So Afflictor and Camouflage Soldier. Are we taking the Soldier here? Probably, right? Or are you taking Afflictor?
They're both like begrudgingly playable for me.
I mean, with 3 Racketeers and a Path Cutter, there's somewhat of an Alchemist. There's somewhat of an argument for Afflictor, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now I think we would play this Soldier too. So I could be convinced for either, honestly. But
we could try Afflictor just to try it, I guess, right?
Well,
I don't know. It breaks stealth, right? And
I don't
it's
think
a curse.
you want to use it to break stealth because you go down a card, right?
Yeah.
But like powering out the, like basically getting a cheap, it's like paying 2 for the other side of the Racketeers is very good while shrinking something.
Well, you're still paying 4.
Well,
so you're getting it on
2 extra, right? Like,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like. I think I'd still just take Soldier because it could be a 4/4.
I agree. Let's just take the Soldier.
Just take Soldier.
A little more flexible.
Okay. Well, we got our R and Brute, so yeah, we're still shy on 2s for my taste, so I'd take that.
Yeah, I would take and play the Brute right now based on what we have.
Challenger's Axe, Cyber Hyena, and Cloak. So
none of
just take that. Hey, Shiny Brute. Yes. So okay. Shiny Brute. All right, now we're starting to look a little bit better because I obviously don't count Sapper as a 2-drop. And then the last pick is a Spiny Grenadin. All right, come on, pack 4.
Yeah. Going
Hook
into
us
pack
up with
4,
the bottom curve.
We already have a deck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
which is
100%.
great.
Okay. Pack 4, pick 1. I got excited for a second with Bullet Shaper, but then I remember we're not Rakano. There's an Iron Fist Faithful, which is the 1/1 flying Valkyrie, and then Tribute +1/+1. I guess there was an argument there for Afflictor because it also triggers Tribute. I didn't think about that, but I still don't like it. There's a Gravity Glove, which I do like. There's a Devour and there's a Detain. Gravity Glove is the +1/+1 relic weapon for 1 justice, and then Amplify 2, it gets an additional +1/+1. I feel like we're good on interaction, honestly. I want to take a unit, but I don't like this Iron Fist Faithful, and we're good on spells, so I don't think it's Devour either. Is it just Glove or Detain here?
I would take Gravity Glove here personally.
Okay. All right, cool.
I love me some Gravity Glove.
Yeah, I like Glove too. That card continues to... Oh, man, we had 2 good graveyard... Or actually, all 3. So, back for more. What's this one? I always have to read this one. 3, Justice, Shadow. Play a unit from your Void that died this turn. Yeah, no, that's right. That's why I don't like it, because it has to be this turn. It does get Aegis, and it doesn't get Void Bound, but meh. Let's see. There's Secret Passage. 1 Shadow relic. Once per turn, you may pay 2 to give one of your units unblockable. Sacrifice it at the end of the turn. Summon, give one of your units unblockable this turn. This card, I'm kind of medium. Actually, I'm low on it because the fact that it's a one-shot, right? You lose the unit. I actually like the Lifesteal one better because it doesn't kill the unit. But the one thing I will say, that I will point out, is the fact that we have Glen Pathcutter and then 3 Racketeers. So we can cash in the Racketeer, get in 3 damage, and then still get a 4/3 that we could essentially do the same thing with the following turn. It doesn't trigger Tribute because obviously it happens at the end of the turn. Let's see. There's the Aramot's Machinations, but with the nerf to double J or double time, double shadow means we can't play it. There's a Crown Watch Recruiter, 3/5 for 5 Justice. Wow, why my influence is all jacked up today. Crown Watch Recruiter is a 3/5 for 5 Justice. Tribute, create and draw a 2/2 soldier. Workshop Tinker is the 2/2. Well, we talked about it. And then a Scavenging Vulture, which is a 1/1 bird for 2 shadow, flying +1 strength while you have a unit in your void. I personally have never been a fan of Vulture ever. I think I would just take the Tinker here. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, out of all these picks, I would also take the Tinker.
What's your
some good synergy with that card, and I think that's an upgrade over, maybe a Brute right now.
Maybe, yeah. What's your position on Secret Passage?
I love it as a market card. If we were, I think it's a little better if we were like maybe Xenon playing big time units. But yeah, like you said, it doesn't even enable Tribute. Ideally we would be playing some Runes of Illusion, which we don't have any, but for that kind of effect.
Yeah. I mean, we do have we literally have Ghost Form in our market, but yeah. So yeah, okay, cool. Of note, one thing I do want to say, remember we did pass those those 2-drop, the Tinkers in pack 1. That may have been, what was it? Was there another Racketeers or another Alchemist that we passed on for the Brute because we needed 2 drops?
I don't think we passed.
Oh no, we got the Brutes for free. It was something else. I think it might have been the Intimidator.
Yeah, I think it was, we passed 1 Alchemist for an Intimidator.
So something, of course, when you eat Reggies, you get that like benefit. So, but I still think it was correct in a world where we could have had a bunch of squadrons. I think it's fine. So yeah, we'll just slam Tinker here. Pack 4, pick 3. We have Angry Prophet, which is the 1/2 cultist for 2 shadow, and then +1 strength for each of your units. There's a shiny Scavenging Vulture. There is an Argentport Banner. There is a Mandrake Simulacrum, which is it's in competition for the Valkyrie and this guy are my favorite. 3/3 Mandrake Simulacrum for 4 generic. Decay, and then ultimate pay 1 to plunder. And then at the uncommon slot, we have, shout out to, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh no, it is I'm So Bad. Wait, is it I'm So Bad? Oh man, one of my fans on Twitch, like they love Grubbot and they kept wanting me to play it, but it was either I saw it when Skycrag wasn't open or when I was Skycrag. I saw no grub bot, so I want to give them a shout out. So if you're listening out there, shout out to you. And then we have Crown Watch Paladin, which is not Ursa Squadron, but it's still good. It's shiny too, really pretty. We have a 2/2 Paladin for 2 Justice, Aegis, and Warcry. So we have fixing that I say we don't need, but watch how many times we get all Justice or all Shadow Hand. Simulacrum is a great 4-drop. We have 2 drops of plenty. So my question is, I don't think it's Vulture. I think it's between Prophet and Paladin. I think I still like the Paladin, even though the Prophet has a higher chance of trading up. Where are you at, John?
Yeah, I don't think we're looking to splash anything at this point. So like, I don't think we need to prioritize this banner. And I think the Paladin is that's like another brute swap for me. Like, I think that's a little upgrade there.
Sweet. All right, we'll take Paladin here. Keep getting excited, and then I pull myself together. Okay, so pack 4, pick 4. We have Detain, Emerald Overcharger, Roland's Favor, Faceless one, and then uncommon we have Roving Workshop. Not really worth the splash. John, what do you think?
Yeah, it's probably just between like Detain and Overcharger for me, and like I don't know if we need either card, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably, I think I like Detain over Overcharger. We don't really have like a one-shot burst damage kind of thing, so I don't think we care about that. So I'm just putting Detain in the market. I think all our interaction is better. Ooh. Okay, all right. Talk to us about this pack, John. It is pack 4, pick 5.
Sure. There's another one of these uncommon 1/1 flyers we passed, and I don't think we're interested in, but there's 2 cards very much in contention here. There's a Guard Dog. I think it's the first one of these we've seen. This is such a solid addition to the draft format. It's just a 3/3 for 3, 1 Justice dog. And it has Tribute, get +1/+1. So possibly a 4/4 for 3, or even better if it has some War Cries or something. And then there's another Mob Rule here as well. And it's quite close, I think. I don't know. I think I would lean Mob Rule, honestly. We have some solid 3s. We don't really need the 3-drop. Like, I think it's still like I think it is an upgrade over a couple of these cards, but I think another Mob Rule would just be amazing.
Okay, I personally would have leaned the other way, just because I'm not excited about Soldier or Cutthroat, and I like Mob Rule as well. It just has a little bit of a situation, right? Sometimes you want to kill something that you don't have enough units for, but and I like Guard Dog. I like Guard Dog quite a bit. I think that card is good, is medium to good, right? But all right, I'll trust your judgment. If you think it's another Mob Rule, what are we cutting spell wise? Are we just cutting the cut ties?
Yeah, I think we don't need cut ties at all, because it's like the same as Overthrow, and it's a lot of overlap with topples as well. Like, I think I would just probably, if we end up just needing cuts, like, I think it's the Ransack is the next thing to go.
Yeah. All right. So we'll cut the cut ties and we'll take the Mob Rule. I definitely like cheaper interaction for sure. I want to keep a high unit count just because of Glen Sapper, right?
You didn't. So, I was gonna say, and I feel like we'll have another chance at a Guard Dog. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, because Hookblade Infuser is the only other card in contention here. Not even contention, just a shadow card. It is the 4/2 Valkyrie for 6 double shadow. Flying Decay, and then Fate. If you have a relic weapon, it gets +4 strength and decay. Or I'm sorry, if you have a relic weapon, it gets +4 and decay. I don't like this card. This is another card that was better out of the market. So yeah, we'll just slam Guard Dog here.
Yeah, there's a Guard Dog here, so awesome.
Nothing in this pack. There's an Ensnare, which is fine, but I mean, we're not lacking removal.
Yeah,
so
removal, so we don't need.
Yeah, there's everything else is Skycrag in this pack. More Skycrag. Lol.
Nothing here.
Yeah, literally nothing. Boom, there you go.
Another Guard Dog.
Yep, that's the only thing. Everything else is Legion. Unchecked Aggression. I don't even know what that card does. Gorgon Cutthroat. I know that card's straight up bad.
Yep.
So Harmless Question. Stun an enemy unit for 0 at slow speed. Not good enough to ever play. And then a Dustblind.
This deck looks great.
Yeah, this thing definitely came together For sure. I am liking this. So 21 units. Let me see what that does for power real quick.
And our curve
so-
stops at 5 with a single 6-drop in Diangolo Might.
Yeah, let's see. So
We
if
only
we
have
go...
2 5-drops. So we have a nice little curve. So I think we can do like 16 or 17 power.
I think I still like... I mean, we have a glove and then 2...
The Path Cutter, or sorry, the Glen Sapper is like a 6-drop as well. So like I think
Yeah,
I would
so
need 17.
Yeah, I think so too. And let me double check. I think we're all single influence as well.
Just Diangolo and Sharp Tactician.
Yeah, and they're both higher in the curve. So I guess, let me think. Glen Sapper or Path Cutter, 2 brutes. It looks like we probably still want Shadow early. So we'll go 8 Justice. Oh yeah, I guess that, yeah, 9 Justice, 8 Shadow, and then the Monument. So we need to make 2 cuts.
So
I guess I'm probably okay getting rid of the hired Cutthroat here.
Yeah, like our worst cards I think are Hired Cutthroat and
How many 2s do we have? Hold on. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2-drops. I can get rid of a brute. Yeah, I'm okay with a brute.
Okay. Go down 1 brute,
and
go
then,
down a Cutthroat.
Yeah, I think so. Like the fact that the soldier can be a 4/4 later, I think makes it a little bit better than Cutthroat.
And we got 2 guard dogs just now, so that's huge.
Yeah, exactly. That worked out really well. That was about perfect. If you guys are looking on the YouTube, if you look at our curve, that's pretty much what you want to see. That is absolutely gorgeous, honestly. I think me personally would probably cut the Ransack to put back the cut ties, but once again, I really like removal. I just die to random cards all the time. But I don't think, like, I don't hate this deck, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just throwing that out there for just GP and conversation. I like having kind of like that warm and fuzzy, but of course with my luck, either A, I'll be sitting at 8 power and my opponent has one really good unit that's like equipped out of his mind and I never draw it, or I have it in my hand for the entire game and get stuck on 5. So
yeah, you know, like you can totally make that swap if you're not comfortable with the Ransack. I don't know, like I enjoy me a Ransack. The only time I'm kind of annoyed is when they have the Azri.
Freight Azri,
yeah, that's like the only time. And you even have synergy for it. Like I'm happy playing Ransack when I just pitch a power, but you have like 3 Racketeers. Like
1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 5. Yeah, we have 5 cards to synergize with it. Yeah, sweet. And then plus, if I remember, Tribute does something when played, a unit went to your void. So, I mean, there is a world, I guess, where we can like Ransack like a Path Cutter and then play Night of Sorrow, which is just gangster, give it a +2/+0, and then play it for an additional +2/+2. Oh,
we have
pretty
so much
sick.
interaction too. Like I don't, you know, like our spells are like, oh gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like premium-ish spells for removal, and then Gravity Glove is a removal as well.
What did we take over the 3rd topple? I don't remember. It was was it Glen Sapper? It was, right?
I think so, and we made.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Was there a topple in the Kako pack as well? I can't remember.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, so we
could
have
have
ended up with
4 topples, but
yeah, and honestly, with us not running that, I think topple is its weakest in Combre, because typically in Combre you kind of have the biggest stuff on the board, so you want to use those early. But I think with our deck kind of topping off at 4, like they're gonna be good all the way up the curve, I think. Yeah, I like them. And then yeah, I like being at 19 units. I guess you can make an argument that it's 21 units if we count the back, or 22 units with the backside of Racketeers. So
Monument
this is solid. Oh yeah, Monument. Yeah, shoot. Yeah, so this is looking really good. Yeah, and drawing 4 cards off of Might is swell.
Just swell.
Each player discards the bottom 3 cards of their deck. So definitely something to consider when we're playing our games. The Fatal Misstep to maybe sometimes play it with 2 power up in case we mill, an Alchemist or Racketeers. That would just be gangster. kill like their 4 or 5 drop and then play a 4/3.
I mean, that could happen, like if we're playing it later in the game, like turn turn 6 or more or whatever.
Honestly,
have that much power up.
Honestly, that's the thing, right? If Fatal Misstep, leaving up Fatal Misstep doesn't mess up your curve, it's been really. If you have nothing else to do, you just automatically fire it off early, right? You only get punished if your opponent doesn't play a unit, which in limited that there's an 80% chance that they play a unit, right? Especially on 3. Like if you're on the draw or on the play, you can kind of, okay, there's a high chance they're going to play a unit on 3 just because of all the stealth. So you can do that. And if not, you just leave it up on, play a 4 drop and then leave it up, or play a 3 drop and leave it up for their 5 drop. And you're typically going to get something decent, right? So,
this deck looks very good.
Yeah, definitely. Now I just got to make sure I don't punt it away. So I think we'll wrap it up here, John. We're at 1 hour and 45, but it never feels like it when you're kicking it with your homies. But we will call it here, guys. Like I said, I wanted to kind of play the games out, take a break, play the games out, and then come back and give you guys the results. Since some people have mentioned that we haven't been able to, but once again, it's pretty late here for John and I, and the queue times have just been pretty bad. So we're gonna call it here, but we will you and I will get together and play this deck together, because this deck does look super fun. I'd probably record it and throw it up on another YouTube video.
Sweet.
But yeah, we'll let you guys know the results of it. So thank you guys so much for watching or listening, either or. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. I mean, we're going to keep doing the podcast because we just enjoy it. So thank you. Congratulations to all the people who have won the tournaments lately. Thank you to all the fans that have been hanging out with us on stream and on Discord. We really do appreciate it. Discord's kind of settled down a little bit. I just haven't been as active on there as I care to be. Or not care to be, like to be. I'm sorry. That was not the right phrasing. I actually do enjoy hanging out with everybody, but duty calls when you're working 2 jobs and streaming. But you guys are always welcome to swing by and hang out, ask some questions, and we're always more than welcome to help people out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. You guys are great. Once again, shout out. Catch me streaming every Saturday and Sunday at twitch.tv/Jedi_EJ, or catch draft videos, constructed tournament reports, and I keep wanting to try to do deck techs, but I just haven't had the time. I want to build a Sindar deck, so maybe you and I can sit down and figure that out, because no one's kind of done it. I know it's a little meme-ish, but it might be fun.
I have a few that I've worked on. It's just I'd have to craft like 3 of them still. It's like,
yeah. Well, I'm thinking about making it with her in the market, just for budget considerations for players, right? The more casual players, and then but the weird thing is, I think I want to build her in almost like a 1-turn kill type deck, where you can pull her from the void and berserker and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. Some weird combo where you pull her from the market with grafter to give her berserk, and then discard her so you can hunting screamer, and then maybe put, I don't know, the ice bow on it, so she pings them, gets a poison counter, and then attacks twice to get 2 more to kill them, or something like that.
Yeah, like she was nearly unplayable in Throne when transpose was a thing, but that card doesn't exist anymore, so that helps.
Yeah, fair. I digress. Anywho, just look up EternalJourney. So youtube.com/EternalJourney. You guys can find all that, to include, once again, the video version of this podcast, which I do recommend you guys use, even if you do listen. Watch the videos on when we do these drafts and when we do our set reviews, which, man, it might be coming up soon, dude, which is kind of exciting and horrible at the same time. We've done pretty good. We've been averaging about 3.5 hours for both. So or for each, I'm sorry, which is pretty impressive, honestly, with 3 people. So
I'll be there.
Yes. All right, guys, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Until next time, as always, happy gaming.
Good night.
Good luck at your draft queues, everyone.